Open Sesame, ours with chosen man. Like, subscribe, and do the reaction. If not, we giving it up honestly about some anime today. Solo Leveling. Only 2 episodes. Me and my stream gonna talk about it. We're gonna debate about it, talk about it. How is it looking so far? Honestly, I think Solo Leveling, animation wise, looks pretty good so far. I really like the animation. I'm very shocked about the animation. I didn't know if it would be that good. Yeah, it looks very good. Solo Leveling looks very good. I kind of wish, in terms of hype, though, the first 2 episodes aren't nothing special. And I have to say that. It's moving like an anime that knows it already has our attention. That's what I will say about it. Solo Leveling is moving like an anime that knows it already has our attention. Its first episode is really nothing special at all. I would say Chainsaw Man had a better first episode. 100%. But yeah, it's an anime that's moving like it already has our attention. It's not moving like Villain Saga when it first dropped. When Villain Saga first dropped, it gave us a 45-minute episode. Even when Tokyo Revengers dropped, they made sure to have 3 episodes for us. Demon Slayer was a pretty intense first episode as well. JJK as well. Yeah, I just would say that it's an anime moving like it already has our attention, which it does. But if I'm rating it in terms of like, is this first episode as good as Chainsaw Man, or first 2 episodes as good as Chainsaw Man's? No, they're not. But obviously, with every anime, it's gonna build up, and I think it's building up nice. I think it's gonna be very good. Oh, Weeb is back. But yeah, how do you feel, Weeb? I do. I think it looks good. I think it's moving like a very good anime, great anime. I think it has a lot of potential right now. It's obviously introducing us to the character, his backstory, and that's part of it. But as I said, it's to me, it's moving like an anime that already has our attention, right? Um, really, you think it's on par with Chainsaw Man's episode 1 when that was like fight scenes, that fight scene and how he got destroyed at the end, and then he like slot. Really, you think it's as intense as that? I'd have to push back. I'm not gonna lie. I'd have to push back on that. I don't think so. I don't think, and I think they zoomed through the first 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes they animated all the way up to the end of chapter 10. Are you talking about Chainsaw Man? That they zoomed through the first 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes they animated all the way up to. Are you talking about Chainsaw Man? I'm assuming you are. So I'm gonna say this. I have no problem with that. Oh no, Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling zoomed through the first 2 episodes, and those 2 episodes they animated all the way up to. Okay, Solo Leveling speeded through some stuff. Okay, which it needed to obviously, but all I'm saying is all I'm saying is it's an anime to me that is moving like something that already has the hype. Rather from, if I was to compare it to Vinland Saga's episode 1, which was amazing, or even Tokyo Revengers when they dropped 3 episodes at first, or Goblin Slayer's like viral moment. Those are all anime that made sure that their first episode was this sensational, huge, crazy moment to where it's like, okay, we're definitely going to be watching the next couple episodes. Right? Like, Solo Leveling is just moving like an anime that already has our attention, that already has the hype behind it, and it's like, okay, cool. So we can have I think episode 1 is very good, and obviously it's going to keep building on itself. Well, what I'm saying is nothing sensational, and that's what this anime is supposed to be like, hyped up to be, is like sensational. So that's all I'm saying. I think they just wanted us to get us through the dungeon bit as fast as possible, which I have no problem with. But I'm always find something to critique, right? So that's what I can critique. Obviously, it's building up to what it's gonna be, right? He's gonna go through this rough patch, and then he's gonna become Jesus Christ walking, and then we're gonna get these great fight scenes and him turn dark and all these like great changes. But all I'm saying is it's an anime to me that is moving like it already had the attention versus an anime that what if it didn't have this attention, right? Like Rise of the Shield Hero. What was this twist that like made it get attention? Was that its main character in an isekai, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Rise of the Shield Hero, is that he's accused of some wild stuff, right? And the girl betrays him, and the whole world turned on him, right? Goblin Slayer. We know what happens with that moment, right? Uh, Vinland Saga's first episode, right? Giving us 45 minutes because they were like, we want this to be insane. We want to hit the ground running. Tokyo Revengers, knowing that they're a slower anime, we're like, well, we're gonna drop 3 episodes so people can really kind of get into the story and help people out, right? Demon Slayer, I believe, had a pretty interesting first episode, if I'm not mistaken. I think Chainsaw Man had a pretty lively first episode. But it does already have the hype because of the main reason, including me. That's the main reason why I hope the first in regards to at least somewhat similar to this. But see, that's my point though. Like, if we're grading it from an episode 1 and episode 2 standard of like it's sensational, it's not a sensational episode 1. Even to me by Chainsaw Man stuff. Because Chainsaw Man, I never saw obviously Chainsaw Man's hype, same way their hype comes from the readers. But Chainsaw Man for a casual, it was like, oh my god. Even a casual can watch Chainsaw Man and be like, oh, this does look insane. This does look crazy. Me watching this as a casual in terms of solo leveling, I haven't read it. I'm just a regular anime fan. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this looks like it's going to be. It does. The animation looks fire. It looks great, but it's not that crazy of a story right now. It's not that unique. Like, nothing's a unique twist to it. That's what I'm saying. Now, do I think it's going to be sensational like all you guys are saying? Yes, I agree with you guys. Yes, 100% believe so. But if I'm just going to be like nitpicky and I'm going to rate the first 2 episodes and be like, oh, I mean, they're good. They're good, but it's nothing viral. And that's why I say they're moving like they already have our attention. What they do. But they're just moving like they already have our attention. So the first 2 episodes aren't like anything sensationally crazy to when you're like, oh my God, like this broke the internet. It's like, oh no, it looks like it's building up to something. Yeah, it's going to be fire. Now you get it. For a casual, we've said for a casual, yeah, it's definitely not as hype as CSM, but it does still have its couple of glory bits, but just in the first episode alone. See, that's what I see now that's what I'm saying. Like I think Solo Leveling looks very good. I think it's very promising, but if we're comparing it for like the people that like on their first episode set the anime world on fire, it's not doing that. But I do think it's trucking along greatly. I think it's trucking along greatly, and I think it's gonna go crazy. I really liked what I saw. He looks like a very good character. And I'm happy for it. The people getting eaten by the ants, the guy trying to use the door getting cut in half in an instant, the guy getting disintegrated and sung with his arm getting blasted off. Yeah, I will say that was cool. That was cool. Oh boy, getting chopped in half. I think I just seen. That's where I have to insert my own bias against myself. Is where I've like just watched too much anime in terms of like darkness. Um, that it was something like, dang, that is crazy. I just think that like I said, we're nitpicking right now, right? For solo leveling, you have to hit us with something crazy. Like those are great moments. Those were solid, not great. Those were good, solid moments. Of like, oh, people are dying. But you have to like, if you're gonna just give one episode, you gotta like punch us in the face. Like, hit us with some deep, intense, like, hit us in the face. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, hit us with some like very cool, crazy. I think episode 1 of JJK is like Gojo being like the coolest dude and fighting bro in 3 seconds. Like, that was amazing. Like, that fight scene was crazy. What made Goblin Slayer crazy was not the entire episode. The entire episode was a regular isekai. And then the ending was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous, right? Vinland Saga's whole season one, episode one was crazy. Great, uh, just just a great episode one. I love Vinland Saga. And Chainsaw Man's fight scenes was like insane. Like his slaughtering was like a crazy, like all the like you have to go so over the top, and that's the scale we have Solo Leveling on. Him losing his leg, it wasn't nothing crazy to me. It wasn't nothing crazy to me. I'm not even gonna lie. It wasn't nothing crazy to me. Because it wasn't. Well, two things, right? I'm glad that we're talking about this. Two things. It couldn't be crazy because they basically already established how healing works. Even in the like little short 2 episodes that we've seen, that like with healing you can basically reverse a lot of damage. It's still a magic area, magic world. So like that wasn't too crazy, and it's too early for us to believe that he would die. Right? Like it's too early for us to really be worried that he's gonna die. Um yeah, so like it's just too early for that. So the suspense for that was like whereas and like I said, I'm comparing it to the greats, right? We're putting Solo Leveling with the greats because the hype for it is insane. Whereas like when I'll even use Villain Saga, like when oh boy, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Vinland Saga. When Thorfinn's dad dies, like Thorfinn's dad isn't the main character. So you're kind of like, oh, he's so nice, and then he dies. There's like a whole deep emotional moment. Or down the road in Attack on Titan, when you think Eren dies, the whole show's been built up. So now you're like, oh, he really might die. This was like, oh, we know he's not gonna die, so he'll be all right. Like there's no really suspense for him getting injured. It's just like, oh, he's injured. No, but no, you're right. I mean, he's the MC. He'll never truly die, regardless. No, you're right. But what I'm saying is there's not even suspense to even try to trick us into believing that. Like, there's not enough suspense to even trick us into believing that yet. So him getting injured in episode 1 and 2 is like, you're just like, oh, that's a cool effect. Whereas, like I said, we're comparing Solo Leveling to the greats because that's the type of hype it has. So I'm gonna use Attack on Titan as an example because it's one of the only animes ever to really fully trick people into thinking that their main character is dead. Because I really thought Eren died. Like once Eren threw Armin out the Titan, I was like, oh, Eren really died. We're about to rock with Misaka. Misaka is about to be the main character now. Like that's what I'm saying. So him getting injured. So old boy right here getting injured in Solo Leveling the first 2 episodes is like, he's just injured. Like we don't really. There's no real suspense to it. It's like, it's cool. Flames of Fire. Oh yeah, you are. I can't remember. Attack on Titan's #1 episode was crazy too. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, Attack on Titan's episode 1 was crazy. So that's what. Yeah, no, you're. I mean, Flames, you are speaking facts. Like it's. That's all I'm saying. Like if we're comparing, like how did you view episode 1 and 2, Flames? Because I'm just nitpicking right now, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, you're on Solo Leveling's. You're just so critiquing it. I'm like, no, I think it's moving accordingly. I think it's moving in a good direction. All I'm saying is episode 1 and episode 2 is nothing crazy. It's Solo Leveling. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. It's moving like an anime that already has our attention. It's on the par with Tower of God. It's on par with Tower of God. I really love Tower of God. It has more hype than Tower of God to me. I would say you gotta watch episode 1 and episode 2. And the only thing that like I said, I'm critiquing about it literally is just that episode 1 and episode 2 is nothing crazy. And that is something that a lot of great anime usually have off rip is this like insane, crazy first episode because they're trying to get everybody's attention. Whereas Solo Leveling is moving like an anime that already has our attention. It's moving like anime that's like, I already got y'all. So like we're still gonna put out something good and quality wise, but it's not this insane viral clip of like, yo, I'm watching this every week. Whereas I even think Chainsaw Man had a crazy episode one and it was like, yeah, we're gonna be watching this week to week because this is crazy. This was like, oh yeah, I get it. Like it's a pretty normal, regular story. We's back from that. Yeah, that's all we're saying. We're just nitpicking, but I have high hopes for Solo Leveling. I think it's gonna be sensational. I do. I think it's gonna be great. But right now, so far, if I had to rate it, like I said, we're comparing it to great anime that debut. They usually the first episode is usually like it's sensational. It didn't reach sensational status, not at all, and didn't even reach the shocking status that a Goblin Slayer had, that a Demon Slayer had, or a real cool episode like JJK had a very cool fight, that was like, oh yo, what's going on? And the first episode, and I'm actually curious as to why do you guys think? I think I'm shocked that more anime don't take. That's going to conclude the Solo Leveling talk. I want to kind of transition into something that I wanted to kind of talk about even further. We're hyped for Solo Leveling. I'm not bashing. I'm just saying. I think the first two episodes is nothing crazy, nothing really to write home about in terms of the hype that it has. How do y'all feel about the first two episodes? It's early. We're not killing it. We're not bashing it. We're just saying, it's not setting the world on fire.